Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here with the 1941 Case SC for the Relics Tractor Club that I'm a part of, and as you can see, we've got the Magneto bolted on. So I'm just going to go through how I install a Magneto on a Case SC tractor. So some people might think that the way I do it is a little bit excessive, but this is just how I do it. And I've had Magnetos on and off tractors enough times and had them out of time when putting them on tractors enough times to know that I'm better off being thorough and in the way I do it than to just go back and forth with this thing. Now on a John Deere, you got a 50-50 shot. So if it doesn't start on a John Deere, you can flip the plug wires around and boom, you're in time. On a Case or a Farmall or any 4-cylinder tractor, you have a 1 in 4 shot in getting the Magneto and the wires in the proper order the first time. So this is how I do it. First thing I do is I pull the valve cover off. That way I can see where the valve train is at when I'm rotating the engine over to find top dead center of compression stroke on number 1 cylinder. Number 1 is always closest to the radiator, so that's the one I'm going to go off of. The second thing that I do is I get the plug out. There's a timing plug on the side of the bell housing here that you can take out, and then there's marks on the flywheel. Those marks on the flywheel will tell you where you're at in relation to top dead center. So when there's a visible mark here in this hole, as you rotate the engine over and watch your valves up here, this is your exhaust valve, this is your intake valve. So as I'm rotating the engine around, I'll watch for the exhaust valve to open and close. That means I've pushed out the exhaust. After that stroke will be the intake stroke. The piston will be on a downward motion. It'll open the intake valve. As the piston comes down to the bottom, the valve will close at the bottom or just after bottom, and the piston will then begin the compression stroke. So both valves will be closed as your piston moves up to compress, and at the top, the timing mark will be visible in this hole. At that point, I stop everything that I'm doing with the engine. That's where we need to be. Top dead center of compression stroke on number 1 cylinder. Then you can do this one of two ways. With the Magneto off the tractor, you can run a spark plug wire from number 1 terminal or whichever terminal you choose to be number 1. It really doesn't matter, but in this case, the cap is marked 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one here is my number 1 terminal. What I want to do is you can either pull the rotor off and point the rotor to this number 1 terminal and rotate it backwards just a little bit to get it aligned with the drive mechanism inside the drive housing here. Or what you can do is, again, with the Magneto off the tractor, take a spark plug wire, put it in with the spark plug in the wire, ground it to the body of the mag, meaning touch the spark plug to the side of the mag. Be careful, because you may get shocked as you rotate the mag over, depending on how you're holding it and the type of spark plug wire that you use. But I rotate the mag over through every cycle, every impulse click, until that spark plug fires. Then you can rotate it 3 more times. So it would be, as soon as it fires through the plug, that's firing on number 1. Rotate it again, 3, rotate it again, 4, rotate it again, 2. And at that point, you can rotate it forward to the point where it aligns with the drive mechanism in the drive housing here. So there's 2 different ways you can do that. I prefer to just pull the cap off and rotate the mag to set the rotor where it's pointing at the number 1 terminal. It's a lot easier. It's 4 screws. Rotate the mag, point the rotor here, bolt it on, done deal. Now from there, the firing order on a case SC and a Farmall is 1342. So what we're going to do is, this is terminal 1, so we'll connect that to the first cylinder, 1. Then you have 3, which will go here to the third cylinder, 4, which will go here to the fourth cylinder, and this one here is 2, which will come back up front to the second cylinder. And that's really all there is to it. As far as rotating the mag back and forth, that's really mostly for hand cranking these tractors. You want to basically set the mag, turn the top of the mag, I should say, all the way towards the engine to fully retard the mag, and then rotate the engine around until you're just about at top dead center again of number 1. Then what you'll do is you'll turn the top of the mag towards you, so you'll turn it this way until you hear that impulse click, and that's right about where you want to be for hand cranking a tractor. It's about perfect at that point. As far as the adjustability and the timing, advanced retard degrees, there really isn't much degrees you can get out of rotating the mag back and forth. Probably about 5, maybe 10 degrees back and forth. So there's really no performance benefit to advancing the mag way out or anything like that. Yeah, that's how I do it in a nutshell on a 1941 or on a case SC with a Magneto. Distributor is a completely different story, but get your number 1 cylinder on top dead center of compression stroke. Get your timing mark visible, or make sure it's visible through the timing inspection hole. Make sure your mag is ready to fire on number 1 by pointing the rotor to the number 1 terminal on the cap. And then wire it appropriately, 1, 3, 4, 2, in a clockwise rotation. Looking at the back of the mag, it'll be a clockwise rotation. So, I know it was a quick video. I'm gonna get this thing buttoned up because we're cooking pizza and I need to get in the house. So, we're gonna get this thing buttoned up, and we still have some things left to do before we're ready to try a test fire. We have to make spark plug wires. We have to wire everything, hook up the gauges, hook up the oil pressure gauge, and I'd like to clean out the tank a little bit. But that's about it. I think that's about it. So we should have fuel, we should have spark. Now we just got to get the wiring done and button up the last couple pieces, and we should be ready for a test fire. So hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. Really, installing magnetos is not that complicating. You do not ever have to open up a magneto to time it to the tractor. Magnetos have an internal timing that is preset. You do not have to mess with them. Now, if there are problems with it, that's a different story, but you never have to open these up generally to adjust timing in relation to the tractor. So just remember that. Real simple, pretty easy, and pretty reliable. I mean, you can't really go wrong with a magneto. You don't need a battery. So with that said, that's all I'm going to have for you. I'm going to get the valve cover back on, throw the gas tank and the hood back on, and I'm getting inside. So you guys take care. Thanks for watching and wrenching with me, and stay tuned for the next one.